Do you think that the reason there's farming protests all over the world is because there's some global concerted effort to gain control over the land? And how do we reconcile watching clips on the BBC of farm protests ripping up London, or stuff we've seen on French news are the same, or stuff in Sri Lanka or India, or it's just happening all over the world, with what appears to be a global agenda? Isn't this exactly the reason that, until God, the obvious changes that are taking place in media, independent media, and the obvious supremacy of the latter, aren't these the very kind of tropes, Neil, that get men like you and I labelled conspiracy theorists and worse? Like the idea that there's an attempt, that the inheritance tax, if you see Victoria Derbyshire talking to Clarkson, what she's saying is, the inheritance tax is to generate revenue so that people's GP appointments come round in a more timely fashion.
Have you tried to get a GP appointment lately?
Yes, right. I just recently had a heart attack.
Okay, so it's tough.
By the way, she's saying that on a taxpayer-funded, state-run media organisation, the BBC. Is there's one little tax cut that could be made. I just wonder what you, how you reconcile something as practical, bureaucratic, tedious, if punitive, as the inheritance tax, with what seems to be a broader global agenda.
Well, it's facile by Derbyshire that you mentioned, the BBC journalist. But she's only repeating what Chancellor Rachel Reeves, has been given a bit of paper with a script on it to read out. But
so one of the reasons Rachel Reeves says she brought this in is to stop wealthy people using it as a way.
No, that was the only reason she did.
Well, no. The other reason was to raise money for public services.
But by 2030, the inheritance tax might have raised £500 million, which is enough to keep the NHS running for 1 day and 2 hours. If you compare it, if you look at the costs of the NHS at the moment, so that basic financial justification for the inheritance tax is utterly meaningless. And so you can set that aside, and then you have to ask yourself the question: then why else would you do it? Why else would you seek to undermine the farming community that has been on the land, managing and looking after the landscape and feeding the people generation after generation for thousands of years? Why would you do that? And in that context, it looks like much less of a conspiracy theory to suggest that there must be a bigger agenda. And the bigger agenda is to take control of everything. It's becoming inescapable. That conclusion is becoming inescapable. The creation and the distribution of money, was robbed from the people in America just over 100 years ago. In Britain, at the end of the 17th century, the same thing happened with the creation of the Bank of England. So that was the taking away from the people of the control of the creation of and the distribution of money. Energy is being centralized, energy supply. People, this ridiculous fantasy of renewable energy. That's just a way to profit from the creation of energy. And now clearly there's an attempt to centralize the growing of crops and the husbanding of flocks and herds, because to let the people be in control of that provides them with a level of independence from the state. It's becoming inescapable to draw the conclusion that the intention is to make the mass of the population dependent in every conceivable way upon the state. You will need to look to us for the education of your children. You will need to look to us, for the stability of your communities. You'll need to look to us for energy, to us for food, because it's coming from a mindset of a minority of, frankly, psychopathic, or at the very least sociopathic individuals who can't sleep at night for wanting to control not just what people do every moment of every day, but what people think and say. And that's manifesting itself in the censorship and the silencing of opinions that don't suit. Call me, I've been called a conspiracy theorist. I've been called a lot worse. And frankly, it's a badge of honor. If you're not conspiring now, you've got a lot of catching up to do.
When it comes to nutrition, We want what's best for ourselves and our loved ones. But what about our little four-legged friends and their nutrition? Dog food, did you know this, is dead food, but Rough Greens brings their food back to life near miraculously with live vitamins, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and antioxidants in their tasty formula that your dog will love. All the while, it's improving their digestion, their coat, their breath, energy, and more. Your dog can try it before you buy it. Simply go to Rough Greens, that's spelled with double F, like roughgreens.com, and use the promo code Russell and get a free Jumpstart trial bag. Normally a Jumpstart trial bag is $20, but use my promo code and get the bag free. Just cover the shipping. What if you like cats better? They've now got Meow Greens. Get the same deal for your cat with my promo code Russell at roughgreens.com. So whether you have a dog, a cat, or both, bring their dead food back to life. Go to roughgreens.com and use the promo code Russell and get a Jumpstart trial bag free. Just cover the shipping. Pet food is dead food. Did you know that? If you leave like dry pet food lying around, it won't decay or anything because there's nothing alive in it to decay. Bring it back to life with Rough Greens. Go to roughgreens.com now.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.